Time alone to activate your power. Hi, I'm Tanya from Major Must Haves, and in this series of story time, I'm going to talk about ways to help you activate your inner power. So the first thing I did to activate my inner power was get rid of my social media. Recently, I went on there because I was just looking at my page and looking at the comments because I needed some encouragement, because I've been thinking of doing this podcast for over 3 years and I didn't know the way to do it. I didn't know how I was gonna go about doing it, but I needed a little bit of motivation, and I went there and I read your comments, and some of you guys told me Happy New Year and it's 2025, and that means I haven't been there for 2.5 years, but some of you still think of me and come and check on me and say hi, and that means a lot to me. And it lets me know that me wanting to come back and do this podcast and share certain things is not going in vain, because you guys don't just miss me for my fashion. You guys care about me. We have built a relationship, and you guys really are interested in the things that I'm saying, really concerned about what's going on in my life. And I feel like we have learned and grown together. And even if my podcast helps my little community of Major Must Haves girls, which I know that it's going to help more because I know this is my purpose, that's all that matters to me, is you guys. I'm not going to worry about if I have to reach the masses or I have to help like all these people. Right now, I'm just focused on helping my inner community and the people in my life and the people in my family. And I know that I'm supposed to help women and Major Must Haves. All of you Major Must Haves girls, all of you guys that have been there for me over this past time, checking on me, sending me emails, telling me happy birthday, even some of you sending me gift cards. I thank you. I loved fashion and I wanted to come back, and because we were a community, and I loved Major Must Haves. I loved getting dressed. I loved fashion. I liked talking to you guys and telling you my experiences and telling you the things that I learned, and you guys did look forward to that. But this time around, I felt like I had things that were more important. So that's why I took a break from social media, and I really didn't miss it. When I go back to social media, it will be strictly for business. So if you guys like to talk to me, I probably will have my email, or you can catch me on YouTube, because I just feel more at home on YouTube. Instagram to me is more of fast paced, and I don't feel like my life is like that. Like, my life is very like calm and slow, and I just don't even like the whole feeling of Instagram anymore. I'm just over it. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna like post my reels and post different things to promote must have conversations, because I do feel like these are conversations that we must have. So I'm going to talk about that type of stuff there. But other than that, like, I just don't have the desire to be there scrolling or doing any of that stuff. So I feel like taking a step back from social media, because social media was like triggering something inside of me. I don't know what it was. I didn't have time to figure it out, and I'm not going to figure it out. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work for me. I don't like Instagram. Some people don't. And that helped me go within, focus on myself, and helped me do a lot of things that I needed to do and not pay attention to things that were going on the outside. The next thing I did was I stopped taking and accepting calls. Now, I know this sounds really mean, but I had to learn that every moment of your life, you're not aligned with everybody at the moments that they are in their lives. And I realized that some people would trigger me. And I know that that's something probably that I need to work on myself, because to me, when things trigger me, I'm realizing that it's something inside of me that I need to work on. But when you are going through a lot of things, like I was going through, grief, dealing with children grieving, dealing with businesses, doing new business ventures, you have to choose quickly. what to get rid of and what to focus on. And Instagram, to me, I didn't have time to figure out what was the trigger, or what was it, or was it because, you know, my life was different and I didn't have a family and now I got to present myself in this different way. Like, all those little things were coming up, but it's like I didn't have time to like work on that. I had other better things that I felt that I could be working on other than trying to figure out why I'm not on Instagram. So that was kind of like easy to let go of. And I honestly feel like I'm not going to be on there but to promote must-have conversations and to probably speak to you guys sometimes. But as far as scrolling, like, Instagram just doesn't even feel right for me. YouTube feels more like home for me, and that's where I'm going to be. To me, that was a way that I was able to go within more and activate my inner power, because I wasn't letting any outside voices come in. I wasn't letting any outside voices that I didn't 100% trust come in. Now, there are some people that I 100% trust, but I also trust me 100%. So, do you see that I had to build myself up to going to trust me? Because I don't know if some of you are married, but when you're married, I feel like you and your spouse become one. And I felt like he was my other half, and I depended on him a lot. I depended on his opinion a lot. If it was something major going on in my life, I had him to bounce ideas off of and to see, is this the right thing to do or not the right thing to do? So therefore, I wanted to go within and be alone, and not, I honestly felt like some people were calling because they wanted to be that support system to me. I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing. I'm not telling you that it was a bad thing that I cut these people off because they were doing something bad. I cut a lot of people off because I did not want any outside voices or anything coming in, affecting or interfering with me trying to center myself and trust my own voice, if that makes sense. So that is a reason why I cut a lot of people off. And some people just, to this day, sometimes I could talk to somebody 6 months later and we could pick right back up where we left off. I could talk to someone a year later and we pick right back up where we left off. The only people that take things personal like this are the people that's not working on themselves, not elevating, and they're too busy worried about you. And not only you, other people. We can't worry about other people as far as like to be getting mad if something's going on with them if they're not talking to us. If someone's not accepting your calls or talking to you, wish them the best. Hope for them to be doing the best and keep it pushing. Don't even think about them. If they cross your mind, you can send them a text, and everything just has to be done out of love. Nothing is done out of nothing is done out of being malicious. Nothing is done out of hate. As long as it's smooth and it's cool, and it should not be a problem. No one should be taking things personal. Sometimes you don't line up with certain people in their life at the moment, and sometimes you do. A year later, 2 years later, it doesn't matter. But if you're working on yourself, and then when you meet back up with this person and they're doing good and you're doing good, you guys could pick right back up where you left off. But that's the thing that I'm going to always reiterate. Do not take it personal if someone's not speaking to you or a friend's not speaking to you at the moment in their life, because you guys just probably aren't aligned at the moment, and it could be to your benefit. It could be that they're not speaking to you because they're not trying to bring you down. It's so many ways that it can go. That's why it's important not to take anything personal. Okay. I also eliminated a lot of distractions. So, like I said, people, when they're calling you and talking to you, because some people want to call you, and I know it's like a lot of people like to gossip, and I don't like to gossip. I don't like to talk about people. It doesn't feel good. If I can't figure out a way how to help someone or elevate somebody, I don't want to talk about them. I don't. It's cool to hear like a little story about someone, and maybe you're telling someone a story about what's going on with somebody. But as far as like to call people and to discuss them, I'll never forget this quote. Small minds discuss people, and big minds discuss ideas. And that's what I want to do, discuss ideas. And at my point in my life, the point in my life where I was, I couldn't discuss anything. I was just trying to like figure out how I was going to live day to day and do things day to day. So that is another reason why I just made it a point to eliminate all distractions. I saw anything that made me give me any little thing in my stomach, anything, I eliminated it. People, things, places where I went, if it was a distraction, I didn't even go to the mall. Like, to me, the mall was distracting because I didn't want to like get caught up into finding things to do, like drinking, going to the mall, to run from myself. I felt like I needed to face myself without my husband. Like, I needed to figure out what is it that you are going to do? What is it that you are going to be? What are you going to stand for? You, not you. What are you going to be and do and show up as Tanya, standing alone? And in me doing some of these things, to me, when you figure out and discover who you are and trust yourself, that is powerful. That is discovering your power. And I feel like these 2-3 things alone is what did it. But I'm going to go ahead and continue to tell you guys some more things that I did. I began to see things like really clear. I began to see that we depend on other people a lot for stuff. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I love my husband. I wish he was still here for me to depend on. I want to meet someone else and build a life with them and be a team with them. Those are the things that I want to do because that's what my heart desires. But sometimes when people die, sometimes when people leave our lives, we don't take the time to truly grieve. And I think when you think about it, like, grieving it's sad when someone passes away. It is really sad. But I think that people probably depended on that person a lot, and that makes them even more sad. And I feel like some people hold on to that for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. And I knew I didn't want that to be me. I knew that I didn't want to be someone that whenever you see me, I'm just sitting there sad, or you just feeling sorry for me because I'm the woman that lost her husband. I'm the girl that just never moved on because I never could recover for what happened. And although it was very tough, although it was very hard, and although I grieved him and loved him with all my heart, I came out of it. And I came out of it happy, knowing that my husband's in a great place and he did everything he wanted to do with his life. And it's time for me to do everything I want to do. And if I have to do it alone, I can. If I want to do it alone, I can. Whatever I want to do, I can do it. And I couldn't have done that unless I found and discovered my own power. When I started doing this, people also started falling away and friends turned into enemies, because I'm going back to some people taking things personal and some people kind of getting an attitude with you because you're deciding to take some time to yourself. And I want to reiterate, never feel guilty, never feel bad, whether you're grieving or not, to take time and do things for you and be by yourself. These are the things that are very important. These are the things that's going to help us grow. And sometimes you need to grow to come back and help people. Sometimes you need to grow to help yourself, your children, your family. It's important that we're all growing. I've grown and I've taught people around me so many things, and then I've fallen again. And you know what? Those same people came around and reminded me again of who I was. And that's why it was important for me to look within and learn and try to figure out what's going on in my life and find ways to better myself, and then teach the people around me about that and put them onto the books I was reading. And sometimes when I would fall off the wayside, they'd be like, hey, remember that? Remember what you taught me? Remember what you said? I want everyone around me to remind me of things and put me back on track whenever I'm falling off. That is my goal, to have people around me that, and I mean my closest people, because I also, like I said, I love helping people, but I want it to be where I have people around me that is helping me with my goals and making me believe in myself and pushing me and calling me out on my shit. Like, I want those type of people around me, and that's another way to keep your power and help your power stay activated, because you have like a core foundation of things that's around you. And if I wasn't alone, I wouldn't have been able to know the people that was, the people that I felt comfortable letting in and trust. Okay, I trust you to come in right now. Okay, I trust that you will, let me feel safe. And I trust that it was a lot of different things that I had to figure out when I was starting to let people back into my life. And I don't know how to quite explain it, but it was just a feeling, because I studied and knew myself so much that I just knew how I felt. It was just a feeling. And if you gave me a good feeling, I'm going to go with it. And it's been working for me, and it's been great. I started to take care, as I was doing this, I started to take care of my mind, body, and soul, like so much more. I started working out more. I started reading more. I started talking to God more, which I always had a great relationship with God. And I started setting goals and accomplishing them, and things just started looking up, which let me know that I was on the right path of doing everything that I was supposed to do. I feel like a lot of people do not know how to discipline themselves and eliminate people and certain things out of their life. And I'm not saying I'm perfect and I did it, but things were so crucial, and things were so, it was like at the detriment of my stability, my financial stability. So I had to eliminate a lot of things at all costs, because it was going to cost me. So some people don't have things on the line like that. So they're just flying it by night. Like, I'll never forget one of my friends. She told me, and I love her so much. She said that, I'm so impressed by the way you're handling things. And I was grateful that she told me that, because I didn't even know that that's what I was doing. But she was saying that when she lost someone, that she just started drinking and just lost herself and started doing things that she really knew she wasn't supposed to be doing. And she admired me for taking time to myself and trying to focus and do everything that was important. And this is another reason why I wanted to start Must Haves Conversation, because I watched every single thing on YouTube about grief, about loss, about betrayal, about things happening to widows, and it was not much information. It was not much encouragement. So that's why I went into looking at like the motivational speakers, studying the mind, trying to figure out the psychology of the mind and grief and people and what happens. And that's what I like. It made me happy. And people could think it's crazy. People could think that it became an obsession. And I really don't care, because at the end of the day, it's about me. And if I can't preserve me, my brain, my body, I'm not going to be any good to anybody. And that's what we have to remember. We have to take care of ourselves. And self-care is so cliche. People talk about self-care as if it's like, okay, I got my hair done. And that's good. Please take care of your hair. Please take care of your skin. Please take care of your body. Please, as much as you can. But I'm not talking about that kind of self-care. I'm talking about the mind self-care. I'm talking about you working on your mind and making sure your mind is thinking positive, thinking good things, thinking hopeful thoughts, not always in a rut, not talking to yourself like crap, not being mean to you. Like, I learned that I'm not going to say anything to myself that I wouldn't tell my best friend. I'm going to talk to myself as though I am my best friend. If I'm feeling down on myself, or I don't feel like I'm doing something good, I'm going to say, hey, stop it. Stop. You know better. Don't do that. Don't do that. You work very hard. You're very smart. You're very intelligent. You're beautiful from the inside out. And you're a great mom. You're a hard worker. And you make shit happen. those are the types of things that I say to myself because I was alone and I had to talk to myself. And honestly, sometimes we depend on people to keep telling us those things. And I depended on my husband for that. I was used to him always telling me, good job, baby, you did that, good, good, good. It was like I was used to the accolades of just having a life partner that was a good husband. And I told him those things about him as well. I'd be like, yes, baby, great job. Good. Thanks for bringing dinner. Thanks for getting groceries. I would always be grateful for everything he did for us. But I'm saying that I got dependent on that. And I didn't want to like right away need that from other people. So I had to figure out a way to give it to myself. And I realized that comes from self-talk and clearing things away sometimes so you can talk to yourself, so you can think. Sometimes we have so much stuff going on around us that we don't even think. We don't have time to think. Sometimes people don't want to think. I've had that moment or moments like that where I just don't even want to think. So you just start scrolling. You just start distracting yourself with things. Some people distracted with sex. Some people distracted with drinking, drugs, negative thinking. Some people are addicted to negative thinking. Some people are addicted to talking shit to themselves. And it's easy because it's almost like we're programmed to do that. Like sometimes you grow up in a household where you hear negativity, you hear all that. And I wanted to make it a point to feed myself positive, great things so I can love myself, so I can be confident in myself, so I can trust myself, so I can know that I have power to do anything that I want to do, anything that I set my mind to. That is why I wanted to activate my inner power. That was a number one goal for me, I believe, looking back. Okay, we need to wrap this up. It's getting long. Sometimes when I do these podcasts, you guys, I take a little break and walk away and come back. So that's why you see an angle change. These are my little cue cards. Okay, my final thoughts on activating your mind power. I noticed instead of feeling defeated when things started not going my way, I started using it as motivation. And I was able to do that because when I wasn't talking to people on the phone all day, every day, and I did have my trusted people that I would talk to, and I'm gonna talk about them in an episode because I do want to shout them out because they're a huge part of where I am today. But I'm saying I like to say, even them, I didn't talk to them on the phone, and these people that I talk to now every day, they didn't give up on me. They text me. They checked on me, even when I didn't want to talk. They allowed me not to talk. They allowed me to be away from them and was right there for me when I called them. And so when things didn't go my way, I just started switching my mind and I started using it as motivation. And I'm like, nope, things are going to go my way. Nope, today's going to be a great day. Nope, everything's going to be perfect today. Nope, I got this. Nope, I could come up with that. Nope. Every time something didn't go my way, I use that as motivation to talk to myself, to motivate myself, because I learned that I have to switch my thoughts. And I started to see when I switched my thoughts, things would change. And even if they didn't change instantly, I felt better. Even if they changed the next day, I got progress. So why sit there and talk shit to myself? Why sit there and be in a pity party? And I'm not going to lie, there are some moments and some things that happened to where I did go into a little pity party. But that feeling was not good. And that feeling was not me, and it's never been me. And so that's why Must Haves Conversations, I want to talk to you guys about, first of all, activating your inner power. Going within and seeing what are the things that I need to eliminate from my lives. What are the things for my life? What are the things that I need to include in my life? Do I need to work out? Do I need to drink more water? Do I need to take time on my skin? Do I need to take time and spend more time with my kids? Do I need to think of ways that you can better yourself? And if you feel like that's not enough, find a way to help someone else. Sometimes I didn't have time to help anyone else. At this moment in my life, in that moment, thinking back, see, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you guys about moments throughout this journey that got me to where I am right now. But just find things to do that make you feel powerful. And reading, solving problems, getting through things made me feel more powerful. Being disciplined, setting goals made me feel powerful. Accomplishing goals made me feel powerful. And I couldn't have done it if I didn't activate my inner power. And we activate it by going within and being alone sometimes. There's nothing wrong with spending time alone. There's nothing wrong with reading. There's nothing wrong with talking great to yourself. You talk to yourself anyway. Might as well talk great to yourself, right? This is how I ended up getting a lot of things done, even when my mind was telling me just lay in the bed and have a pity party. It was just by me talking to myself and me trusting myself and me saying, you know it's going to be okay, right? You know how far you came, right? You know that this too shall pass, right? You know that God has your back, right? You know that other people in this world have your back, right? You're not alone. So just remember, like, when you're going through stuff or when you forget your power or who you are, remind yourself that your power. Remind yourself that, okay, I need to censor myself. I need to be by myself. And I don't mean you have to be by yourself for as long as I was. But take some time to yourself when you're not feeling as powerful as you should. Take some time to yourself when things are not going your way. And go and have yourself a talk with yourself. Because no one can give you better advice than yourself. And of course, I would love to have a mentor. Like, I've never wanted one before, but I would love to have a mentor. I would love to have someone to help me get through some things and teach me how to podcast and teach me how to think even better and have more powerful and great thoughts and learn new things about myself. But nothing is better than saying, you know what? There's a problem right now. I know what to do. I'm the master. I know the master. I'm connected to the master. And let me go talk to him and recenter myself. And then we can get back to whatever we got going on. And everyone will be there waiting on you. Everything will be waiting on you. Social media will be waiting on you. Your friends that love you will be waiting on you. Your family. Everything will be waiting on you. So don't ever be scared to take some time to yourself and tell people no to activate your inner power. I feel like every challenge started to become an opportunity for me to prove my dedication. And it wasn't dedication to anything, because none of these things were my passion. It was a dedication to myself, to never quit, to never give up on me. Because if I would have given up on these obstacles that came my way, and they were huge. To me, they were huge. To some people, they're small. But to me, these obstacles were very huge. And if I gave up on these things, that means I would be giving up on me. And I just every day kept saying, nope, nope, I am dedicated to me. I am dedicated to me. I hope in this series of story time that I was able to show you that you can overcome anything with the power of your mind, God, belief, faith, and trust. Trusting yourself. Trusting that you have the power to overcome and do anything that comes your way. Anything your heart desires. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on season 2 of Storytime. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to everyone. Thank you. Bye.